The May 8th, 2019 meeting of the Board of Estimates is now called to order. In the interest of promoting the order and efficiency of these hearings, persons who are disruptive to the hearing will be asked to leave the hearing room. Meetings of the Board of Estimates are open to the public for the duration of the meeting. The hearing room must be vacated at the conclusion of the meeting. Failure to comply may result in charge of trespassing. Madam Deputy Comptroller, are there any corrections, additions, or deferrals on the agenda?
Good morning. For today's agenda, we did receive protests from Ms. Kim Trueheart for pages 26 through 29, and those are supplementary general fund operating appropriations. We have two items additionally that are on the non-routine agenda, and those are pages 12 to 13, item number 5, and 13 to 14, item number 6. The protest items, pages 26 through 29, will be moved to the non-routine agenda. I have the following abstentions to report. For the Honorable Mayor Young, he will abstain on page 11, item 2, page 17, item 1, pages 40 to 41, item number 11, pages 57 through 58, item numbers 10 and 11, page 61, item number 19, and pages 62 to 63, item number 21. For the Honorable President Scott, he will abstain on pages 12 to 13, item number 5, pages 13 to 14, item number 6, pages 26, 27, 28, and 29, pages 53 to 54, item number 4, page 61, item number 19, and pages 62 to 63, item number 21. The Honorable Comptroller Pratt will abstain on pages 12 to 13, item number 5, pages 13 to 14, item number 6, and page 56, item number 8. And again, remaining on the non-routine agenda are pages 12 to 13, item number 5, pages 13 to 14, item number 6, and the item that was added, which are pages 26 through 29, which are the supplementary general fund operating appropriations. Mr. President and members of the board, those are the items on the non-routine, including the protests received, as well as the abstentions that are reported thus far. Thank you.
Thank you. I would direct the board members' attention to the memorandum from my office dated May the 6th, 2019, identifying matters to be considered as routine agenda items together with any corrections and additions that have been noted by the Deputy Comptroller. I will entertain a motion to approve all of the items contained on the routine agenda.
Mr. President, I move approval of the items on the routine agenda.
I second the motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries. The routine agenda items have been adopted. The first item on the non-routine agenda can be found on pages 12 to 14. Health Department Agreements, item 5 and 6, Associated Black Charities, Inc. Will the parties please come forward?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Dr. Letitia Jarasa, Health Commissioner of the Health Department.
Malcolm Haynes, Chief of Staff, City Health Department.
Awesome. So I'll start to talk about some of the clinical points around Ryan White. So Ryan White funding has been awarded to the Health Department for a number of years. It's a federal grant from Human Resources and Service Administration, and the Health Department, in conjunction with a mayoral appointed HIV Planning Council, make decisions on how funds are distributed to grant subrecipients. We are responsible for what's called the eligible metropolitan area. So we serve residents that live in Baltimore City and the counties of Baltimore, Queen Anne, Stevens, Carroll, Harford, Anne Arundel, and Howard County. Through Ryan White funding, specifically Part A, we serve more than 12,000 clients. Over 78% of them are retained in care, and 10% of them actually have no health insurance. So the goal of this program is to really ensure that those residents that don't have insurance or are underinsured have access to the HIV services they need. ABC has served as the fiscal agent to help with distribution of funds. So per law, per federal regulations, we have to distribute funding to those recipients that are selected within 60 days of the fiscal year beginning. So Ryan White assists with that. They were selected through a competitive bid process, and for all of the sub-grant recipients, they go through an RFP process and are selected competitively as well.
Yep, and the only thing I'll add is that this contract has existed, or our relationship with ABC has existed dating back to 2004. The two contracts, as the Commissioner said, supplement the Part A portion of the Ryan White program, and ABC's function in that arrangement is to serve as a fiscal agent, essentially administering contracts to the providers of HIV services for individuals within the Baltimore metropolitan area.
When did the fiscal year start? When did it, they were awarded? When did you said it has to be awarded within 60
March
days?
1st, 2019.
March the 1st, 2019? Okay.
All right. I will entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I move approval of the recommended contract.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The president abstains.
Yes.
Mhm.
Motion carried.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The second item on the non-routine agenda can be found on pages 26 through 29, where the parties come forward.
You only did the 5. You didn't call for 6 also.
Did you call for 5 minutes?
Yes, I did.
Okay, thank you.
He said he did.
Thank you. Director Raymond.
Excuse me. Good morning, Mr. President, Mayor Young, Controller Pratt, honorable members of the board. I'm Henry Raymond, Director of Finance. The purpose of the agenda items on pages 26 through 29 are for the supplementals for various operating deficits and agencies. And I'll summarize them briefly. $1.5 million for the Department of Public Works, $5 million for the Baltimore Police Department, $7 million for the Baltimore Fire Department, and $10 million for the Department of Transportation. In accordance with the charter, these operating deficits must be cured. As a result, we're presenting our request this morning for approval. We have revenue in excess of the amounts appropriated for fiscal 19 to cover these amounts. And the failure to do so could result in audit issues for the city of Baltimore. And I request that these supplementals be approved by your honorable board.
Thank you, Ms. Trueheart. We know that you have a protest, and we would just want to extend this courtesy today because we have extenuating circumstances as the city system is down, and we know that this is not something that will consistently happen. We know that you have no problems emailing and letting us know in a great time. Ms. Trueheart, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is an honor to be here on your first board estimate.
Thank you, ma'am.
And Mayor, thank you for your service, both of you. Yes, I protested these items because the citizens have made it very clear what our priorities are. And I'm thankful to say in a recent court ruling, citizens were now allowed to redress our government when we believe as taxpayers that there is waste, fraud, abuse, or some other use of funds that really doesn't match with what we believe is appropriate. I find it interesting that we have organizations in this government which are allowed to operate in a deficit. First hearing that from our Director of Finance. That's problematic, that here it is May of the fiscal year, and we still have about 2 months to go in this fiscal year. And if these agencies don't know how to manage money better, somebody needs to put them in check. It's unconscionable that we have a school system here in Baltimore that the city has managed not to increase funding this year for. Instead, we have flat funded our schools. Last year, they were appropriated $278 million. And again, this year, that is the proposed budget amount for city schools. Citizens should have made it abundantly clear to every elected official that yes, public safety is important, but our children are equally so. And so when you tell me that you're going to fund police, and one of these appropriations is for police, but yet you don't also fund schools, and yet you've intentionally flat funded schools, I don't understand that. I truly don't. Based on your own representation of the upcoming budget, 44% of the budget is being allocated to policing. 44%. And maybe 20% is going to our schools. That to me says you don't understand the priorities. You don't get it. And so as a citizen and taxpayer, we need to come forward. And it shouldn't just be me standing here. And I'd like to think that there's a whole army of folks behind me who are equally displeased with how you prioritize budgeting and the allocation of the scarce resources that we have. Our children are being harmed every day. And I get offended, especially here lately, around the rhetoric that we want to move Baltimore forward. You know, the motto ought to be, we want to uplift our people and help them. And that doesn't seem to be in the consciousness of folks who we've elected. If you invest in the people of this city, you'd be amazed what could happen. Our children in particular. And the fact that these supplemental appropriations don't reflect those priorities is truly disappointing. It is absolutely disappointing. So I'm asking you to intercede in this supplemental appropriation sham and make sure that the funding reflects the priorities of the citizen, that ensures that we're investing in our people. You can no longer continue to disinvest in the people of Baltimore and expect things to be okay. They will never get well under this current status quo. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Truehart. I will entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I move, assuming the protest is timely, that the protest be rejected and the Department of Finance's recommendation for supplemental appropriations be approved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries. As there is no more business before the board, we will recess until bid opening at 12 noon. Thank you.
Good job.
Good afternoon. The Board of Us is now in session for the receiving and the opening of bids. We have one addendum to read for today, and that is for B50005748, Electronic Medical Health Records Management Software Support and Services. Please change the bid due date and opening from May 8th to May 15, 2019. That is the only addenda for today.
Okay, the addenda is noted for the record.
Excuse me. SC 955, Powder Mill Interceptor Improvements and Stream Restoration. A bid guarantee is required if the amount is over $100,000. Metra Industries with a bid bond. $16,125,832.50. Spiniello Companies with a bid bond. $17,432,656.24.
Both bids will be referred to the Department of Public Works for review.
There being no further business, we are adjourned. Thank you.